Welcome back to another episode of Scholastic IQ, the game where knowledge rules. I'm your host, Ethan Neer, and we have a great show in store for you tonight with two great teams, so let's go ahead and introduce them. On the bottom, we have West Frankfort with Adonis, Royal, Courtney, and Caitlin. And up top, we have Edwards County with Adriel, Braden, Jason, and Isaiah. Now, before we get into the game, let's just do a quick recap of our rules. We'll start out with some toss-up questions. Those are worth 10 points. If a team gets it right, they move on to a bonus question, which is worth 20 and can be stolen for 10. You guys are allowed to interrupt me at any time, but if you interrupt me and get a question wrong, it is 5 points for the other team. So just be right all the time and we don't got any problems. All right, if everybody's ready, let's get into the questions. What city, whose namesake Sky Tree is over 2,000 feet tall, contains the Ginza shopping district, was formerly called Edo, and is the capital of Japan? Jason.
Tokyo.
Tokyo is correct. For your bonus, what senator and senior pastor at Atlanta's Ebenezer Baptist Church won re-election in 2022 by defeating Herschel Walker in a runoff election?
No answer.
Answer. All right. West Frankfort, chance to steal.
No answer.
The answer looking for there was Raphael Warnock. Raphael Warnock. For your next toss-up, what organ in which Purkinje fibers conduct electrical signals contain the tricuspid valve between the right atrium and ventricle and blood pumps? Are you buzzing?
Buzz.
Okay, yeah. I think we were having a buzzer issue there. Braden.
Heart.
Heart is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what man wrote about Charles Cotamine, whose first wife is unintentionally resurrected as a sarcastic ghost in his play Blithe Spirit?
Cats.
That is incorrect. West Frankfort, chance to steal.
Smith.
That's incorrect. The answer we're looking for was Noel Coward. And that'll take us to our next toss-up question. What American company whose sales of Paxlovid plummeted in 2023 partnered with BioNTech to create the first FDA-approved COVID vaccine? Royal.
Pfizer.
Pfizer is correct. Well done. For your bonus, during what president's administration did alcohol distillers bribe Treasury Department officials in the whiskey ring scandal?
Prohibition.
That's incorrect. Edwards County, chance to steal.
Hoover.
That's incorrect. The answer we're looking for was Ulysses S. Grant. Ulysses S. Grant. The next toss-up. In September 1870, Henry Washburn named what aquatic landmark a geyser in Yellowstone National Park that is known for its regular eruptions? Royal.
Old Reliable.
That's incorrect. Brady.
Old Faithful.
Old Faithful. Yeah. For your bonus, what painter who showed surrendering Confederate officers in Prisoners from the Front also made such seascapes as Breezing Up and the Gulf Stream?
Vermeer.
That's incorrect. West Frankfort, chance to steal.
Michelangelo.
That's incorrect. The answer we're looking for was Winslow Homer. Winslow Homer. Your next toss-up. What mathematical things have eigenvalues and are eigenvectors, are invertible if they have a non-zero determinant, and are rectangular arrays of numbers? Braden.
Matrices.
Matrices is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what blue video game character lends his name to a protein that directs formation of the brain and spinal cord and is opposed by Robotnikkinen?
Sonic.
Sonic is correct. Well done. And that'll take us to our first media question. Released on May 12th, 2023, this adventure, action, and role-playing game continues a popular series from Nintendo. This single system, Jason.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom is correct. Well done. And since that was a media question, there is no bonus question, so we'll take it back to toss-ups. What man wrote the blue-backed speller textbook and an 1828 work later owned by the Merriam Brothers, his American Dictionary of the English Language? Brayden.
Webster.
Webster is correct. For your bonus, John Wayne was best known for acting in what film genre exemplified by the movies The Searchers and The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance?
Western.
Western is correct. Well done. For your next toss-up, in 2022, what island nation expanded its military service requirement, citing increased military exercises across its namesake strait by China? Jason.
Taiwan.
Taiwan is correct. For your bonus, in July 2023, what country's central bank kept interest rates at 97% ahead of elections in which incumbent President Alberto Fernandez is not running?
Spain.
Spain is incorrect. West Frankfort, chance to steal.
Is it Mexico?
Mexico is incorrect. The answer we're looking for was Argentina. Argentina. For your next toss-up, what metal scattered electrons in the Davison-Germer experiment likely joins with iron to form Earth's inner core and has an atomic symbol, Ni? Jason.
Nickel.
Nickel is correct. For your bonus, in astronomy, what is the term for the zone around a star within which a planet could support liquid water?
Atmosphere.
Atmosphere is incorrect. The answer, sorry, West Frankfort, you still
Habitable?
have a chance to say. Habitable zone is
There we
correct,
go.
or the Goldilocks zone. Well done, Royal. Your next toss-up, what former Tennessee governor called Raven, when he lived among the Cherokee, won the Battle of Sancto Jacinto, and was the first president of Texas? Isaiah.
Davy Crockett.
That's incorrect. The answer looking for there was Sam Houston. Sam Houston. Your next toss-up. What river contains the massive Rybinsk Reservoir, names a city formerly known as Stalingrad, and is a Russian river that is the longest in Europe? Adriel.
The Volga.
Volga is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what biblical man who had a disciple with a similar name confronts the prophets of Baal at Mount Carmel and is taken to heaven in a chariot of fire?
John.
That's incorrect. West Frankfort, chance to steal.
Elijah.
Elijah is correct. Well done. For your next toss-up, what adjective indicates a planet closer to the sun than another, or an anatomical feature below another, such as the lower branch of the vena cava? The answer looking for there was inferior, as in inferior planet. And that'll take us to our next media question. This animator and screenwriter started her career...
Rebecca Sugar.
Rebecca Sugar is correct. Well done. For your next toss-up, what king presided over most of Amarna-style art creation, was the husband of Nefertiti, and was a pharaoh who started a religion centered on Aten? Braden.
Tut.
That's incorrect. The answer looking for there was Akhenaten. Akhenaten. For your next toss-up, what novel in which Arthur Holmwood provides Lucy Westenra with a blood transfusion depicts Dr. Van Helsing's quest to defeat the titled Jason?
Dracula.
Dracula is correct. Well done. For your bonus, the Peace of Pressburg was signed in the aftermath of what 1805 battle in which Napoleon's victory demolished the Third Coalition?
Austerlitz.
You guys are all out of time. West Frankfort, chance to steal.
Smith.
Smith is incorrect. You guys were just barely out of time. It is, in fact, the Battle of Austerlitz. For your next toss-up, what quantity, which is equal to the dot product of force and velocity, is defined as the work done per unit time and is measured in watts? Adonis.
Joule.
Joule is incorrect. Braden.
Electricity.
That's also incorrect. The answer we're looking for was power. Power. For your next toss-up, what country which operates the Aramco company that manages its massive petroleum reserves is home to the holy cities of Medina and Mecca? Adriel.
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what Russian composer whose first symphony is nicknamed the Classical wrote a concert-length ballet based on Romeo and Juliet?
Brahms.
That's incorrect. West Frankfort, chance to steal.
Smith.
That is incorrect. The answer you're looking for was Sergei Prokofiev. Sergei Prokofiev. Your next toss-up. What animal form is taken by a namesake grandmother protector figure in Navajo myth and by a cunning storyteller from West African myth named Anansi? Royal.
A fox.
That's incorrect. Braden.
Baboon.
That is incorrect. The answer we're looking for is spider.
Oh.
Spider. And for your next toss-up, pencil and paper ready. What is the smallest positive integer that, when squared, produces a value greater than 300, given 15 squared equals 225? Jason.
16.
That is incorrect. Adonis.
18.
18 is correct. Well done. Yeah, okay. For your bonus, B.R. Ambedkar was the leader of what Indian social group who were often ostracized and left out of the Hindu caste system?
Muslim.
That's incorrect. Edwards County, chance to steal.
Buddhist.
That's also incorrect. The answer we're looking for was Dalits, or untouchables. And that'll take us to our next media question. The Walt Disney Company's long-running Royal.
Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse is correct. For the next toss-up, what song, which reached a Billboard at #1 in 2019, 25 years after its release, describes just one thing I need and is a seasonal Mariah Carey hit? Braden.
All I Want for Christmas.
We need more than that.
Is You.
That's correct. For your bonus, toys are discarded after a boy contracts scarlet fever in what Marjorie Williams book, which is named after a stuffed bunny who becomes real?
No.
You guys are all the time. West Frankfort, chance to steal.
Peter Rabbit.
That is incorrect. The answer we're looking for was the Velveteen Rabbit. The Velveteen Rabbit. And that'll take us to our lightning round. The way our lightning round works is each team will have 60 seconds to answer as many questions as they can about a particular topic. Now, West Frankfort, since you guys are trailing in this one, you get the first pick of the litter. Your choices are Hercules' labors, domes of the world, shortstops, or Arizona.
Domes.
All right, domes it is. In what present-day country can one find these domes or domed buildings? 60 seconds on the clock. I will count you down. 3, 2, 1. The Hagia Sophia. You can pass as well.
Pass.
The Taj Mahal.
India.
Monticello.
Pass.
The Reichstag building.
Pass.
The Biosphere, a museum built for Expo 67.
New York.
That's incorrect. St. Basil's Cathedral.
Rome.
That's incorrect. The Schweizgarten Pagoda.
Italy.
That's incorrect. Royal Albert Hall.
England.
We need more than just England.
New England.
That's incorrect. The Sheikh Zayed Mosque in Abu Dhabi.
India.
That is incorrect. The Mausoleum of Timur in Samarkand.
Pass.
The Hagia Sophia. Sorry, you guys are all out of time. And re-looking at my notes here, I believe we would have accepted England. The answer that I was looking for was the United Kingdom, which is England.
That made
So
more sense.
we would have accepted that, so we
I
won't
was
add
just
that to your points.
spitballing.
Fair
I didn't
enough.
even know England was right.
We will go through the ones that you missed, though. The Hagia Sophia is in Turkey. The Monticello is in the United States of America. The Reichstag building is in Germany. The Biosphere, a museum built for Expo 67, is in Canada. The St. Basil's Cathedral is in Russia. The Schweizgarten Pagoda is in Myanmar. The Sheikh Zayed Mosque in Abu Dhabi is in the UAE. And the Mausoleum of Timur in Samarkand is in Uzbekistan.
Alright, thank you.
All right, now Edwards County, it is your guys' turn. Your choices are shortstops, Arizona, or Hercules' labors.
Hercules' labors.
All right. Answer the following about Hercules' 12 labors. 60 seconds on the clock. I will count you down. 3, 2, 1. Water monster with regenerating heads he killed.
Hydra.
Queen of the Amazons whose girdle he seized.
Hippopolita.
Kind of building owned by Augeas that he rerouted a river to clean.
Stable.
Three-headed dog of the underworld he captured.
Cerberus.
Golden fruit he took from Hesperides.
Golden apple.
Titan he rescued who brought fire to mankind.
Prometheus.
Creatures he drove from their home in a swamp in the Stymphalia. You can pass as well.
Pass.
The twin sister of Apollo whose Carinaean hind he trapped.
Artemis.
Creature imprisoned in the labyrinth whose father, the Cretan bull, he captured.
Minotaur.
The wisest centaur and teacher of Achilles he's visited.
Pass.
Creatures he drove from their home in a swamp in... So you guys are all out of time, but we'll go through the few that you missed. The creatures he drove from their home in a swamp in Stymphalia was the Stymphalian birds. And the wisest centaur and teacher of Achilles he visited was Chiron. Chiron. All right. Now let's take a look at our scores after the lightning round. We have West Frankfort with 80 and Edwards County with 240. So on top so far, but West Frankfort still plenty of time in the second half to catch up. We'll take it back to our toss-ups. What mountain range passes through the city of Ouarzazate, is home to various ethnic Berber groups, and stretches across Tunisia, Algeria, and Morocco? Braden.
The Andes.
That's incorrect. The answer looking for was the Altus Mountains. The Altus Mountains. For your next toss-up, what man who described life as a crack of light between two eternities of darkness in his book Speak Memory wrote about Humbert in Lolita?
Buzz.
Buzz, all right. Jason?
Nabokov.
Nabokov is correct. For your bonus, William McKinley spearheaded a tariff passed during the presidency of what man whose term was sandwiched between those of Grover Cleveland?
Benjamin Harrison.
Benjamin Harrison is correct. Well done. That'll take us to our next toss-up. What phylum, whose members have an internal skeleton of spicules and use filter feeding, consist of simple invertebrates once used to absorb liquids? Royal.
Sponges.
Will we accept sponges? I believe we will. Yeah, that is correct. It was sponges or porifera.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know the scientific name, but I know what
Well,
they
sponges
are.
works. Sponges works. For your bonus, Etta the witch was nicknamed after the title bird on what Disney Channel show whose 2023 finale depicted Luz Nocera's battle to save the boiling isles?
Owl?
We need more than just owl.
Ida the owl?
That is incorrect.
Dang.
Edwards County, chance to steal.
The Owl House.
That is correct. Well done, Braden. And I
part
know
of
our
the
producer, Aaliyah, losing her mind that there was an Owl House question. For your next toss-up, what document, which consists of 63 clauses and was made in response to a rebellion by powerful barons, was signed by King John and has a Latin name? Jason.
Magna Carta.
Magna Carta is correct. For your bonus, the pituitary and pineal glands are part of what body system?
Endocrine.
Endocrine system is correct. Well done. For the next toss-up, Willie steals money from Walter Younger in what play that inspired Bruce Norris's play, Clybourne Park, and was written by Lorraine Hands?
A Raisin in the Sun?
Raisin in the Sun is correct. Well done. For your bonus, Tlatelolco massacre, or the Tlatelolco massacre of student protesters in 1968 happened less than a week before the start of what international event in the same city?
No answer.
Answer. Edwards County, chance to steal.
Olympics.
That is correct. The Olympics of Mexico City. Well done. And that'll take us to our next media question. This artist released her first EP at the end of 2016 and played with her band in an NPR Tiny Desk concert in early 2023. Name this artist.
Think I know why.
Phoebe Bridgers.
Adonis. Can you repeat that one?
Phoebe Bridgers.
That's incorrect.
Wanna try? Oh, would you be so kind as to fall in love with me? You see, I'm trying. I know you know that I like you, but that's not enough. So if you will, please fall in. How are your lungs?
And you guys are out of time. The answer you're looking for was Dowdy. Dowdy. And that'll take us back to our toss-ups. Pencil and paper ready. What integer equals the value of 48% of 75, given that the same integer equals 75% of 48? Adriel.
36.
36 is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what term for a specific type of young bird is also the surname of the Canadian actor who played Neil Armstrong in the 2018 film First Man?
Hatchling.
That's incorrect. West Frankfort, chance to steal.
Chick.
That is incorrect. The answer is just Ken himself, Ryan Gosling.
Oh, okay.
And I'll take us to our next toss-up.
Yeah.
In 2023, what country launched the Slim lunar lander, nicknamed the Moon Sniper, which was developed by the JAXA organization, headquartered in Tokyo? Braden.
Japan.
Japan is correct. For your bonus, what largest of the Greek Dodecanese islands was formerly the site of an ancient colossus?
Rhodes.
Rhodes is correct. Well done. For your next question, what author of Beyond Freedom and Dignity studied animals in his namesake box and was a behavioralist psychologist who researched operant conditioning? Jason.
Pavlov.
That is incorrect. Royal.
Smith.
Smith is incorrect. The answer we're looking for was a B.F. Skinner. Skinner. And that bell means we are all out of time on today's show, so let's take a look at our scores. We have Edwards County on top over West Frankfort, 360 to 100. Well, that's all the time we have for on today's show. For our lovely contestants here today and the people working hard behind the camera, I'm Ethan Neer. Thank you so much, and good night.